Anybody that reminds me of my dad, I just cannot vibe with. Like, once you start giving me that impression, I'm just like, Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Quisha, but I go by Unappreciated Beauty here on YouTube. If you have not already subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to do so before you click out of this video, and make sure your post notifications are on. Also, I'll leave all of my social media platforms somewhere in this video or down below. That way you guys can follow me and I'll follow you back. In this video, I decided to do a get ready with me glam makeup look, as well as like a story time. Yeah, I'm bringing you guys into my headspace and my train of thought when it comes to my certain situation, but I just wanted to talk it out and see where my next step is or what I should do. And you guys can always leave me comments down below if you have any advice or if you just want to talk to me in general. But yeah, I've been going through some things. Like, what I'm going to be talking about in this video isn't necessarily like an issue for me, but I'm acknowledging certain things that has happened in my life, and I just wanted to chat about it. If you guys would like to see more, just stay tuned for the rest of this video. Alrighty guys, so I've decided to do like a get ready with me, but like a chit chat story time. I'm just in the mood to like talk, so hope you guys are interested, especially if you clicked on this video. Okay, so I prime with the Tatcha primer. It's a really good primer for my skin. I have really dry skin now on top of oily skin, so like my skin feels super duper dry like when I'm at home not doing anything, and as soon as I go out my skin is super oily, so I guess I have combination skin. Before like I started paying attention to my skin, I had really oily skin, so I don't know what's going on now, but it be dry as hell. So, and this primer kind of like brings some moisture into my skin. So let me start on my eyebrows. I haven't talked, like I definitely don't talk about my dad when it comes to like what I do or like who I am as a person or whatever. I don't feel like I necessarily have daddy issues. I feel like I have like, I guess I need like some type of, I don't even think it's closure though. I think, okay, so I'm gonna just briefly explain like what's been going on for years. The only reason why I feel like I should talk about it is because I feel like some situations kind of like take a toll on, who you are as a person and what you're trying to like grow out of and become, if that makes sense, or what you're trying to be or who you're trying to be. So I don't remember much like to go into like full detail about my dad and like who he is like as a person. I was like a military kid on that end of it, because he was like back and forth and well, not back and forth, but he was in the military, so he would come home like every now and then. Like, it wasn't like he didn't want to be there type of thing. It was because he had work. So I completely understood that when I was younger. I hated being like, well, I didn't hate being at my grandma's house. It was something that was missing like when I was there, and I just felt like I was really close to him, I felt like. So whenever he did like leave and stuff, I would be pretty sad, but I wouldn't like cry or anything. I would just pretty much like, just be like, okay, whatever, I'll see him next time, whatever. So my grandma, she was, she's a really good person. She is really sweet. I also haven't talked to her in a few years. When I had first graduated high school, I was reaching out to them every now and then because they weren't too far from where I was living. So I would just check up on them every now and then, because I get it, like my number changed. My number is definitely not going to stay the same all the time. So I took out the time to reach out every now and then or whatever. So me and my cousin, my little cousin, we were super close, so it wasn't nothing like going on anything. Plus I was young, so it was just like I just took it as for what it was, pretty much. As far back as I can remember, like my mom didn't tell me when I was that young, but like once I got old enough to know, she told me that she was married to my dad and they got a divorce. Just some personal issues with that. So they got divorced, my dad and my mom, because of personal things and then certain situations that happen. I do know a little bit about that, but it's neither here or there. So I knew all of that, and pretty much I was just giving him, you know, I didn't have a choice but to give him his time, like when he had to work. I went with my grandma one time to actually drop him off at the airport, I think, something like that, and got to see him for a little bit. He actually wanted me to move with him, and I was like super scared. I was not leaving my mom, so I didn't go. I don't know what my life would have been like if I did, but I didn't go. So something was just telling me like, no, stay home. I was young. I didn't really know, like, you know, should I go live with my dad or like what? Like what should I do? Like I didn't even think twice. I was just like, no. A few years went by. He had quite a few like different families, but I didn't put that against him. I didn't. I didn't understand, but I didn't put that against him either. So got to the point where he had started another family, and I had a little sister, and she's actually passed away. But she was a baby. I probably was like, I don't know, like 6, 7. I think she was like 2. I saw her when she was like baby, and then I saw her again when she was like a little bit older, like a toddler. And then after she passed away, like I didn't even, you know, I didn't really take it a certain way, but I really wish that, you know, that hadn't happened. But, you know, you can't control that part of it either. The crazy part is when I did find out that she had passed away, all I heard was my mom on the phone. Like she was like, "You lying," and she was like, "Okay," and like when she got off the phone or whatever, she didn't even look at me. She kept doing what she was doing, and then she came back. I was like, something happened to my sister. I just kept thinking that because she had said my aunt's name, and I was like, okay, something must have happened to my sister, and it did. So she passed away or whatever. I saw that coming. I don't know how, but I was just like, something happened to her. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure she's gone. Like that's the first thing that I said, because the way that my mom sound just had me like something going on, and it's like that serious. This was the ColourPop brow pencil in dark brown, and then I'm just going to clean it up with some concealer. I use ColourPop No Filter and Huda Beauty concealer, and then offset it with the Beauty Bakery flour powder. Years had just passed, I guess. He would check on me, well, my dad, he would check on me every now and then, you know, I just stopped really talking to him. And I think I kind of got upset at one point because I didn't even want to reach out to him anymore. It felt like he would only like reach out to me once a year, and that was like literally on my birthday. So I was just like, you know what, if you don't want to reach out to me at all, then don't worry about it. I was still going to see my grandma and my uncle and, you know, his side of the family, but I like rarely saw him. I just came to, you know, the conclusion like he's just doing his own thing, so it was like whatever. For me, it was just like whatever. Got out of high school, and he found out that I was in college, so he was really trying to reach out and like, you know, talk or whatever. But it was like when we did talk on the phone, he would literally just be like, "You had a boyfriend? Where's your boyfriend? What's your boyfriend name?" I'm like, "Dad, I'm sorry, I don't know what these people are doing outside." But so annoying, people be having these loud ass cars for no reason. Like, just crank that bitch up and go. So he would just ask me like the same thing every single time we would talk. So like I knew what to expect out of the conversation. So I just got to the point where I'm like, I don't want to talk to him. Like, I already know what he's gonna ask me, and I really don't want to talk about that because I feel like, you know, why would I tell you if I have a boyfriend or not? And that's just what I was thinking. I don't think it was a big deal. I'm like, shouldn't you be talking to me about other stuff? Like, because I wasn't doing anything. But I was like, shouldn't you be talking to me about, like, life, like, situations, like, different type things like that? A few things happened to where I don't even think, I can't remember when I started seeing him or the last time I had actually saw him. I don't think I saw him while I was in college. At least I don't remember. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I seen him 1 year, and that was the year that was the year I saw him. He had a son, and I didn't even know he had a whole nother family once again. And I was just like, okay, like, whatever. I guess, you know, he trying to find love or whatever. But had another family, and the first thing he asked me was, yeah, like when you come over here you can babysit. And I was just like, really? And I was trying to like talk to them, and like I was really trying to talk to them, or I think I was trying to like reach out and, you know, just check up on them every now and then, because I'm like, I'd rather check up on him and make sure they're good just in case anything were to happen. And then he was talking about getting me a car and stuff like that. And I can't even remember what year this was, but I know I was in college because I had to go back to my mom's house to see him because he wanted me to see, he wanted to talk or whatever, but not like deep type stuff. He just wanted to stop by and say hi and talk or whatever. I started realizing some certain things, and I know some people probably like, you shouldn't say that, but like I started putting two and two together because he's always like I don't know, he's always doing this same thing every single time we talk, every single time I see him, and his breath always smells like alcohol. So I was like, okay, so normally when I talk to him, more than likely he's under the influence. Not saying that beer is a big thing. Like, I mean, I can drink beer and still feel a little ditzy, you know, or whatever. But like, it was like this scent. Like, I'm like, ew, do you not know that you like reek literally of alcohol? And it was just so annoying. I was like, wow, so he just like drinks before he comes see me, or like what? But I was just like, whatever. So then I ended up meeting my son's dad, and then I had got pregnant and had a baby or whatever. And when my son was like a little bit out of the infant stage but wasn't walking yet, one of my family members had, on my dad's side, had added me on social media, and I didn't know until afterwards, but that person was sending screenshots of like me and my son, or just my son by himself. I'm not sure exactly, but my dad knew exactly what he looked like and everything. So, and I hadn't even introduced him to him. So yeah, he knew exactly what my son looked like and everything because he had received pictures from someone. So I just went ahead and blocked that person because I was just like, why would you go back and send him pictures when he can easily reach out to me, or he can come to my page and message me or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this person I haven't talked to in years, so I just didn't understand like why that person would do that. I was like, well, whatever, you know, business that I have with my dad, I feel like that's me and his business. There should be no reason why you're sending him screenshots of my kid. What if I wanted him to see him and meet him? And you know what I mean? Like, that's not any of your business. Even if that person comes and watches this video, I do not care. I don't know that person like as an adult. Pretty much I haven't talked to that person in years, like literally years. And when we were hanging out together as far as like a family, I was probably like between 9 and 10 or 11 or something like that. After all of that, I haven't talked or mentioned him. I checked up on my grandma a few years ago, and now that I have anything like going on as far as like issues with my trust in men because of him, that's not one of my issues. I think my issue is just like somebody who you thought like really did care about you honestly truly doesn't, and nobody could change my mind like at the moment, because I feel like, why don't you take the initiative to reach out? Like, why do I always have to be the one to reach out? And sometimes, yeah, like when I'm like, as I'm getting older now, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do, you know, I do want my kid to meet him. I'm just not like there yet, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna use the Morphe 39A. I have a transition shade in here that I like to use. I don't know, it's so weird like talking about it because I don't really think about it that much, but then I'm like, what if he did like try to reach out? Like, what would I do, or what would I say? But me, I'm the type of person like, you can't just like be out of my life for so long and then all of a sudden reach out. Like there was never anything going on. Like that would annoy the crap out of me. And I think as a person, I've done really good on not using like my background or history towards anybody that I've like been in a relationship with or talked to. So, and I know a lot of people, they get to the point where they're like, well, you know, like me, where I'm at now, I'm like, I don't have to like talk about the past. Past is the past. I mean, there's history, but not like history like that. Like our relationship was just like when I was a kid, like, you know what I mean? It was never like any issues like when I was older. Because you know when you get older and you start getting into it with everybody, like that's just the harsh reality. But you really do start realizing how people are as an actual person, because when you're younger you don't really care about stuff like that. But the memories that I had with like my grandma and my cousins were always good memories. It was just that I just couldn't figure my dad out. It was just one of those things where I'm like, what is actually wrong with this dude? Like, and he didn't seem bad when I was younger, but my thing is, if you like left somebody, then you would talk to that person way more than you would normally do on a day-to-day basis, and not just once a year or every other year. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Because another thing on my end is, if I can accept you for all of the times that you left because of work or start a new family, didn't even like legit tell me that my sister was gone. My mom told me. Obviously I was living with my mom, but you couldn't like call me to tell me that. And I know people take certain things differently, like depending on what it is, but I knew like he was the type of person that as much as he didn't want to tell me something, he would tell me, like, because I just got that vibe from him. Like whenever it came to anything else, he's like, I'm sorry, but this is just what it is. I'd be like, okay, cool. But I'm like, the main times that I actually needed you, you're never there. Like, it just didn't, it still doesn't make sense to me, because he still does it. And I think another thing is, like, when I'm around people that just like smell like they took a bath in alcohol, that like bothers me. I'm like, ew. And not that it's like you don't even realize that you don't even realize that you smell like it, but I think because that scent is a known scent for me when it comes to him, like I'm just like, ugh, like you remind me of my dad. And I probably shouldn't say stuff like that, but it's true. He didn't come off as like psychotic or anything, but or like one of those drunk uncles, but I feel like he was always like drinking, and you could always smell it. And then his conversation was always like retarded. Like, I'm just like, bro, like you can't go one visit, like you just have to be drunk, like what? And honestly, a lot of people wouldn't even know that that was my issue with him, because I've never talked. And I still really don't even have an issue, to be honest. It's just that a lot of stuff when I was younger, I just didn't understand. But nobody was, like, willing to explain it to me either. So I was just like, well, like, who is this person? While I was, like, in my dating stage, I always had, like, I set high expectations for the people that I did talk to. I mean, for the most part, I wasn't, like, oh, you have to be rich. I was more like, you just have to have yourself together, because I didn't see that from like men like that. Like if they were older, like my grandpa or like somebody like that, and of course my mom, but I didn't see that from men. So I was like, the least that y'all can do that lets me know that you got some type of responsibility skills or whatever. You got a car. I mean, some people can't have their own, living situations, but at least I know if you're dating, then you're ready, to take on, like, just financing and paying for things, because if you want to actually date without going places, I mean, you have to date and go places and pay for things, you know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was looking for money out of anybody. I've never been that type of person, because I've always felt like somebody want to do something for you, they'll do it. I don't have to go around with my hand out like, you gonna give me some money or not? Yeah, I do feel like I have high expectations when it comes to like men, because I'm like, y'all cannot be this like irresponsible, or at least like, what do you call it? I guess attentive, or pay, you know, when it comes to being in a relationship and taking responsibilities. Like, even if you don't have kids or anything like that, you still have other responsibilities. So I'm like, I do have high expectations out of who I date, but I mean, at the same time, that's literally something that I cannot control, and I'm starting to realize that now. And I'm like, anybody that reminds me of my dad, I just cannot vibe with. Like, once you start giving me that impression, I'm just like, mm-mm. And you would think that I would want someone to be like my dad, but I didn't have that. If my voice starts to sound like strained or whatever, it's because when I start talking a lot, then my voice decides that it doesn't want to allow me to talk. It starts acting like I'm about to lose my voice. So I use my ColourPop concealer to do my cut crease. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I just have high expectations. And I feel like, not that I'm comparing anybody to anybody, I just feel like, obviously, if I tell you that I was raised by my mom and she was a single mom, then that should tell you pretty much all you need to know, and that I'm not with the shits when it comes to responsibility, and that's just how it is. And I'm respectful, you know, I'm a respectful type of person. I feel like everybody should be respectful, you know. You just take care of what's yours and keep trying to get through this life. And not saying like everybody should take every situation so serious. It's just like, for me, I want stability, and I just want to be comfortable. Like, I don't want to have to worry about nothing, okay? I'm going to be using this glitter glue, and I'm just going to be putting on like different kinds of glitter, literally. So all of the, like, this glitter glue and the glitter products that I'm going to be using is glitter injections and then NYX. So okay, so I tried to get that glitter on as much as I could. It's like really, really chunky, so it just like falls. I'm gonna apply these glam lashes. But yeah, I guess it's more like, for me, what I'm trying to figure out is, because low-key, not even low-key, I don't feel like I give that vibe that I have those type of issues, because even somebody who knows like a lot about me, that person, I don't think I've ever gave that person that vibe, like, oh, she must got daddy issues, because I'm more of the type of person that's like, you know, whatever happens in your past is just something that, you know, happens. I've came to the realization that it's just life, and people are just trying to get through their own lives. But I'm like, will it ever become an issue for me to like find somebody, or at least, you know, date, because I have such high expectations, I guess? I think the main important thing is to like acknowledge that there's an issue, and then see what you can do to fix it. And no one has ever said to me like, oh, you seem like you got daddy issues, which I don't think I do. But I'm acknowledging like the fact that, yeah, I do expect a lot out of people because of my past. Not even like expecting like much, it's just expecting that, or thinking that that person, you know, has some type of skill, like communication skills, responsibility skills, like things like that, like important things when it comes to like real life situations. What do you guys think? I know some people are like, why would you bring that to YouTube? But I feel like if I'm a blogger, if I want to talk about things like that, I have the right to. It's not like I'm making anybody feel bad for anything. I'm just acknowledging basically how I felt back then as to why I am the person that I am now. So it's definitely nothing against anybody. I still just have a lot of learning to do, and that's just on my part. Holy shiz naive. Holy hell. I wanted this. I wanted to do glam, like extra as glam. This glitter though is like super chunky and it's falling. It's really good glitter, but it's like really chunky. That's why I use a glitter glue now, because like when I used it before, it was holding on pretty good, but it is super chunky if you're trying to get like a good piece on there. I need so many things. I need some more lash glue. I need some more eyeliner. I literally just got some more lashes. I was looking for eyeliner or lip liner and lip gloss, which I have. I need more makeup wipes. I need more makeup wipes, micellar water for my face. Yeah, I feel like the important part is just acknowledging certain things, because a lot of people, they don't really want to hear the truth about themselves because they don't see it and they don't think it. But I'm like, this stuff is real. Like, whenever you got stuff that, not that you were just hiding to talk about, but whenever you just go through stuff, it's an important part to, like, you know, acknowledge it, understand it, and then get over it or get through it. Like, that's how I feel. And I know I don't ever feel like I judge people, and I say feel because I'm like, why can't we all just be, like, if we're close, if we have that relationship, why can't we be honest with one another when it comes to certain things that, you know, you've experienced and stuff? Because people just, they don't set their pride aside. They think like, and for me, I'm a Scorpio, so I always feel like someone's out to get me or try to hurt me or try to make me look bad or try to make me look stupid, because there are people that will, and they do. You could say one little thing and everybody think like it's true. So I get it, like, people don't like to talk about certain things, especially with friendships and relationships. But especially with friendships, oh my god, like, I know how to put on lashes, but these bad boys are long, and I think it's making me nervous. I feel like this side looks better than this side, but I'll let them dry. They are long as shit. Okay, so it's legit glitter everywhere, like, I kid you not. And if I keep picking up my face, it's because, oh shit. I'm gonna use my ABH contour palette to color correct. Lost my train of thought. I'm just gonna put some underneath my eyes and stuff. Not too much on my face because I don't want it to turn my actual foundation color. Yeah, on top of acknowledging all of that, life kind of hit me pretty hard. Again, definitely not the first time. I'm going to attempt to get through 2019 with no BS. Okay, foundation. I'm going to be using Beauty Bakery Cake Mix and Clinique foundation. I figured I would just mix the two because this one is pretty deep, and I use NARS and Macau as well, and that one is like literally this. I figured why not just kind of mix it with something lighter that I know works well. I probably should re-up on what is going on foundation. Oh my lord. Okay, and I'm gonna use my Sonia Kashuk Beauty Blender. Okay, I normally use my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, but I'm just gonna test this one out. This one is Huda Beauty Cinnamon Bun, and I felt like it was the closest to my skin tone-ish. Oh, this is the shade. I feel like it might be too dark, just a tad bit. But two concealer shades, which is ColourPop Concealer No Filter 1050, Born This Way, and Maple. Okay, while that sets a little bit, I'm gonna bronze up my face. This is the ABH blush. I used the end one over here. Don't like blush, but this one be having my face looking whooping. I've been loving this Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter. It is bomb. My lash is in the way, like literally.
Damn, mommy.